Hey everyone, welcome to the Slice of Real Estate podcast. I'm your host, Jared Taylor. Joining me today is the founder and CEO of Falaya Real Estate, Barret Blondeau. Barret, how's it going?
Pretty good, Jared. Thanks for having us on.
I'm excited to have you here. Let's dive right in. First off, I don't care if people are sick of it. I ask the same question when I start an episode. You're walking down the street, you have a Falaya sweatshirt on or a t-shirt. Someone goes, "What is that?" What do you tell them?
It's an app creating a more efficient and transparent real estate process for all.
And when
That's basically it.
And when they say to you, Barret, though, where does that name come from? What do you tell them?
I'm a Louisiana boy, so I'm from Baton Rouge, and we have a body of water, a river that flows through the state called the Atchafalaya River. It's a Choctaw word that means long river. At Falaya, we envision the real estate process being a river that flows smoothly from beginning to end, connecting you who you need, when you need it, efficiently and effectively using technology. So it connects back to my state, my product, and also my son's name is Rivers. So it kind of connects back to my son as well. So it's an homage to him.
Well, we know you're probably the world's biggest Alabama fan, right? If you're in Louisiana.
No, not at all. Yeah, I mean, now that Saban's gone, we'll see how it's going to play out. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be. I mean, hey, it's LSU's time to make a resurgence, right?
That's right. It is an opportunity, no doubt.
I love it. Why did you want to start this company in the first place, Barret? You know, that's the question I always ask any founder, right? Because you and I were talking about it is not easy to get a company off the ground, to get the traction needed. Real estate, you know, is a difficult space in general, as is a lot of other industries. But what made you want to start this company?
Yeah, so, I was an agent with a big brokerage that everybody knows. Then I went into a boutique brokerage. Then I went out on my own and, just working with buyers and sellers and seeing what they were needing and wanting and asking for and how much they were starting to take on in the transaction and how much waste, honestly, there was in the transaction for both me and the consumer, honestly. Me driving around, showing a bunch of houses and not getting paid, wasting my time and my resources. And then consumers, sometimes I'd show one house and I'd get paid $12,000, so it was like there was so much inefficiency in the market that I just thought there had to be an easier way to get agents paid, consumers through the process. And so that's what ended up, having this idea of Falaya, creating a more efficient and transparent process for all.
And one of the things that immediately gets my attention whenever I talk with the company is the platform UI, right? You really did a great job with this. So talk me through the importance of, especially in real estate, but a clean UI that immediately makes it easy for your users.
Oh, I completely agree with you. You can have all the back end and everything that you want. But if users aren't going to use it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how fast and how quick your site is. So UX UI is honestly the most important thing. Think about when you're building a house. When you're building a house, what do you do first? You go and you get the plans. You don't just give it straight to the contractor, your thoughts and your ideas. You put it down on a design and then you hand it to the contractor. Same thing with UX UI, right? You're designing out your layout, how consumers are going to flow through your site, and then you give it to the developers. A lot of people start with the developers first, and it's a grave mistake. Honestly, we've made a little bit of those mistakes along the way, so I don't want to say that we're perfect. But at the same point, you're continually innovating. Like, how can you get someone quickly to list their house, get them onboarded, get the documents to protect them legally signed, and get their house on the MLS as efficiently as possible. And that's what we're all about is giving sellers more ability to do that on their own, limiting the time that I have to invest on onboarding and making it very efficient for me and my agents to service those clients.
What does the future of real estate look like through your lens? Like, what are you most excited about in terms of new trends that have come up? What's on your radar?
Yeah, I think it's going to be all about transaction management, right? So I think it's going to be how is the transaction getting more and more efficient? Whether that's, what we do forms automation, right? We make it extremely easy for you to negotiate offers between the buyer and seller, or buyer agent and seller, all with text message and email notifications and PDFs being sent. And then how can reminders, like we also have a very task driven platform that tells consumers what to do next, right? If something comes up from the title company, the mortgage broker, or lender, we're moving them through the process efficiently using our app so that they stay on target and they actually close and sell their house. When you look at other people, they may list your house and they may do it cheaper, but do they get you to the closing table? And I think that's what the key is like people aren't trying to list their house, they're trying to sell their house. And then how can you get them efficiently from the contract to the close? And I think that's what's going to be the innovation over the next couple of years, using AI and automation and those type of things to move consumers from that endpoint to the actual eventual sale.
When you start working with someone, what's kind of immediately the biggest misconception they have?
Of Falaya, or
Falaya.
Yeah. So misconception. I mean, usually when they first reach out to us, they have a lot of questions like, "What's the catch? Why is it so cheap?" They think like they want to make sure we're real and we're not some overseas company trying to take their money, And so those Google reviews are extremely important, and social proof like this, knowing that I'm real and that I'm out there in the public, being on social media and letting everybody know. That would be the biggest thing, is people just kind of wonder what, then once they see it and they get their credit card in, and then they pay for that initial thing, and then they see the listing flow where they fill out the property disclosure and the lead-based paint and the limit listing agreement. They're like, wow, how has this not existed? You know what I mean? Like, and then by the end, man, they're like raving fans, referring us to everybody. So the first thing is just making sure that we're real. I would say that's the biggest thing, because people are like, how can you do this for $1,000? And so that's really the hardest thing that we get over. And then just honestly, like we talked about a second ago, awareness, actually having that conversation. Honestly, if I have the conversation, I usually close, right? Like, it's not like it's getting the conversation that's the hard part.
I love it. What's been some of your biggest frustrations over the years? Obviously, you're trying to solve a lot of these pain points that you ran across, right, early in your career. But what are still some of the challenges that are still out there that you're maybe going to tackle, or they're on your radar to tackle?
Yeah. So, there's still a lot of pain points between title, mortgage, and the flow, and making sure that that's seamless and getting everybody on target. So I think that, like I said a minute ago, the transaction piece, there's still a lot of pain points there right before the close. I mean, I still don't understand how sellers don't know the cost of the title until like 3 days before closing. Like, it should be way before that they have like an estimate, and like these things should be put out early. The closing disclosure being only 3 days prior to, and being dictated by the lender is something that needs to get fixed. But at the end of the day, from a real estate transaction as a whole, I think we're going to see a lot of innovation as far as buyer agent, how they're involved, how they service the client. I think in the next 5 to 7 years, that process is going to get even more efficient. That was the hardest part, and why I created Falaya was because I was driving around showing all these houses and making no money, dude, and spending all this gas, a bunch of people that were wasting my time. And so how does that process get more efficient for the buyer agents? And it's going to have to. If sellers aren't going to pay and buyers don't want to pay, I mean, ultimately, consumers need to understand that they're using resources and they have to pay for those resources, right? So consumers have a piece to play in this, and they have to figure out what kind of resources they want. Do they want full service? Do they want white glove? Do they want 3%? Do they want 2.5%? Do they want a flat fee? Like, what are consumers going to do, and what are consumers going to want to do? And I think that's going to be the biggest thing that's going to change in the next couple years, and we're going to see how that plays out.
Can you talk me through how it works, maybe from like You say you're not on your site. It says not a listing platform or a closing platform, right? So could you talk me through, like, say someone wants to go ahead and list a property? How does it work? What do they need to provide to you? And then how does I guess, yeah, just go through how it works for those that are interested in getting started.
Yeah, so you just visit our pricing page and you can see how our options are broken down from a flat fee option to a small 0.5% option to a 1% option. And you can pick the level of support you need. Once you pick the plan, you check out. We have a small flat fee up front, and that's to allow you to be able to cancel at any time. We have no obligations, but that covers our input time, our time on the phone with you, and makes it to where we don't lose money on every transaction. And make sure that we have real sellers too. We don't have fake sellers, so that you can actually pay. Once you pay a little bit of money up front, then you fill out your property disclosure, your lead-based paint, and sign the listing docs. Once you do that, we're pretty much have a listing in place. We just need to get the other data, which is bedroom, bathrooms, square footage, and photos. Some of those are included in our plans. Some of them you can provide on your own. We have a la carte services where you can upgrade at any time if you need to, or add on photos, add on a video walkthrough, add on targeted ads. So there's all kind of different things that you can mix and match to get the level of service that you need and want. And then once that happens, honestly, we take an onboarding call. We say, hey, when do you want your house to go live? It can go live the same day. It just depends on how quickly you sign those documents and get us the data. And it can all be done without talking to us, quite honestly. So, that's the key. But our transaction team is on standby. You get a text message with our name and our phone number, and you can call us at any moment to get the support you need.
Barret, what's something in kind of the listing process that you've seen become the norm as far as information or an image that is being showcased? One sec. We're gonna do a cut here. Can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah, we'll do a cut. We'll edit this out after. Barret, so what's one thing you've seen added to a listing that maybe was not the norm a couple of years ago, but now it's like absolute? Like, one of the things I always see is it seems like walkthroughs more than ever. You start to see that walkthrough video on there for those that maybe don't want to. They're hesitant, right? But they want to see that initial walkthrough. Is there anything else that you've seen that years ago we wouldn't have seen, but now it's like this is the normal thing on a listing?
I would say, what we're getting like right now a lot is, well, obviously the video walkthrough happened a lot during COVID, right? That thing blew up during COVID because people didn't want to go to houses and they wanted to be able to see. And so, but it's gone through because people now want to see properties and they want to be able to view them, which it can make the buying process more efficient, right? Which brings us back to the other point. But what I'm seeing a lot is AI, staging, right? I think that's like almost on some of these vacant properties, these condos that don't look so good. They're only a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo, and the AI staging has become like almost, and it's become very good too. Like, it's gotten way better than it was a year ago. So I would say, and more cost effective, where you can do it for like $1 a photo, and so it used to be more expensive, but the costs are coming down and the scale is going up. And I think you're going to see that more and more. That's a quick, easy thing that's doing this. Also, Zillow has put out listing showcase. I don't know if you've seen that, but they've come out with this new thing where in markets they put a dot on the listing and they actually showcase that listing across that market, and you can buy one listing, 2 listings a month, and actually showcase it and get like 67% more clicks on Zillow. So Zillow is making moves to take on listings and to get technology towards listings, and you're going to see a lot of that keep on going with all the platforms, I believe.
Interesting. Yeah, it's the AI staging is very interesting, and I wonder if correct me if I'm wrong if they're already doing this, but think of for a buyer, if they were even able to add like, hey, you're interested in this property. What's your style? Is it like, do you like this type of furniture? Do you like that? And then it's like you can picture your dream home, before you even buy it.
Right.
That is a game changer.
I agree because, and that's it. Who you're trying to sell it to, right? If it's a condo in an urban environment, you stage it with the right furniture, like you know what I mean. You can kind of target who you're going after as a listing broker. But I mean, yes, even better if you can envision stuff and design things, change wall colors, all kind of different stuff, countertops, all that type of stuff to envision what you're going to do with the property. I mean, my wife and I transformed this property and we had a vision, but if we could see it more, maybe it would have enticed us more to put the contract in quicker. I don't know. It's a
Yeah,
good point.
it's interesting. Almost like I could, but also it's not just that. Like I see the kind of the next phase of that is even maybe asking more information of the buyer to help craft a better experience from them, right? Like, do you have a family? Do you want to have a family? Right? Then all of a
Right.
sudden, okay, that's 5 years out. You're seeing the playground in the back or something. We could really get to the point where it's like they want to buy the place because they're already envisioning that this is a thing. It'll be interesting to see how that continues to progress, but look forward to staying on top of that and seeing what changes in the space. Barret, again, want to thank you so much for joining us here today, telling us about the company, a little bit about why you wanted to start it, and kind of what the future of real estate holds. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Appreciate all you're doing, man. Keep pushing it forward.